Hey there. Um, just because I mentioned stuff, just because I mentioned inheritance stuff, does not mean I'm jumping to the wrong conclusion. It just means I mention it all the time as a reminder to you not to forget. I know I I know it seems like I jump to the wrong conclusion all the time. I did it back in January, I did it now. I don't know. Things in my life are complicated and I don't know how to explain it. Not that you take any of my excuses if I did, but I want you to know that I don't mean to be snarky. Just because I mentioned you know what does not mean I'm jumping to the wrong conclusion. It just means that I mention it all the time so that you won't forget, so that you don't forget. I know better than to mention it in front of Joe, and I know better to mention it too much. I know I can jump to the wrong conclusion sometimes. And as for um as for the trip down to see you to drop off stuff, because I can't do it as a just because visit, drop off stuff for you. I have to do it as a just a passing through McMinnville on the way to Pacific City to visit Aunt Bev. Aunt Bev is Dad's aunt, my great aunt. The reason we're going down to visit Bev, the reason we go through McMinnville when we go to visit Bev is because that is the shortest route. 5 years ago, when we went to the Dory Days parade and we went with the King and Prince K9, we went 26 to 6 and down through the Tillamook Mountains. That's one way to go, but going 99 to 18 to the Musteca River Valley shortcut is another way to go. You don't have to go all the way to Lincoln City to do that, and you don't even have to go as far as Spirit Mountain to go that way. The reason we're going down to PC to visit Bev is because Bev and my brother have the same birthday. They're 38 years apart, but um, they both have the same birthday, both August 20th. Like another almost ex-girlfriend of mine you never met. Almost ex-girlfriend. I say almost because we were in 7th grade, and let's just say I was a little too childish and didn't and had forgotten what I had agreed to. Anyway, that's the story of Kim. She's now a stuck-up snob with crazy Karen-like features. If you don't know what a crazy Karen is, then YouTube it. Anyway, going down to see Bev because she and my brother have the same birthday, and because she's going to be 89 this year and he's going to be 51. And then next year, when she's 90 and he's 52, we hope to do a big birthday bash and possible family reunion. However, my mom's side has another family reunion coming up next year. Or has a family reunion coming up next year. It's my aunt and uncle's 60th wedding anniversary next July. In a year. Anyway. That's next year. That's the big road trip planned for next year. For the new car. Might have to take a rental car, but I don't know. However, that's next year. I hope to see you before then. The other reason I don't care what you talk to Joe about, especially if it's allowing, you know what, you know what, is because I want you to be the one to tell her about Zach, because she'll no doubt be your ride whenever you get around to coming to town, and I'm sure she'll be tagging along when it comes time for you to meet Zach. So, therefore, I have to say, I don't care what you talk about with Joe. As long as the you know what deal stays intact, you have to be the one to talk to her about that. I know better than that. Therefore, I don't care what you talk to her about. And I hope you are not keeping all of friends' passings to yourself, because that's too much death and grief to keep to yourself. And because she might not have known Dexter or Ryan or Stovall Jr. or anyone else we lost, except for maybe Barry. But you knew them, especially Jimmy Moore and Dexter, and well, you didn't know Ryan, but you knew his mom. And you knew Stubble Jr., although all those times I was talking to you about him, it didn't jog your memory until I sent you photos of him. Which is another reason why I include photos. Because I don't know what you talked to Joe about. I don't know what you keep from all. I don't know what you divulge. So I hope that if you're willing to accept these souvenir trinkets like the Dexter poster that has yet to come, and the Jimmy stuff, and all the stuff that I've already sent you, like the Barry Elephant clay sculpture of Oregon Zoo African elephant, and whatever else I sent you. Oh, right, the Gravel Loves You pin, because that's from Lynn Carnival's band Gravel, which is a descendant of the Frequent Ramblers. At least, well, Lynn still lives on Frequent. She's Dexter's backdoor neighbor. So, I hope if you do decide to talk to her about whatever, that you know what stays intact, and that you know what stays intact, that just because I mention it all the time does not mean I'm jumping to the wrong conclusions. It just means that I mention it all the time, that's all. So that you don't forget. To leave me stuff in your will. That doesn't, just because I mention that does not mean I'm jumping to the wrong conclusions, or I'm thinking that it would happen anytime soon. I hope that it doesn't happen anytime soon, because we have too much stuff to do. You know, you're just getting to the point where you're able to you're just now getting to the point where we can start doing stuff. And one of the things that I one of the first things that I want to do when we start doing stuff is take you to visit Barry's grave. You weren't able to be there when he passed away, or when he was dying, or even when we put him in the ground. But just like with Antonio and Emily, we can visit his grave. I know where he's buried. I know where Barry is buried. Probably the only Jewish cemetery in Southeast Portland. Is not too far from where I went to school. Went to that Green Thumb school where I worked at that hangar place and that little piecework place, PHC, and then Port City and then PHC. Port City was the hangar place, and Port City was the other piecework place. But PHC was where you took me that one time in the cruiser, and where we made the mistake of driving all the way out there to pick up my last paycheck when they had already sent it to my house. I'm sorry about that. You say I bought you cigarettes. Anyway, just because I mention you know what does not mean I want you know what to happen anytime soon, or that I'm jumping to the wrong conclusions or anything else. It just means that I don't want you to forget about it. Whether you keep it a secret from Joe until your absolute deathbed, that's up to you. Or whether you put it in your will and tell a lawyer, that's up to you. That's completely up to you. I'm staying out of it for now. Anyway, I will probably send you the Dexter Postal just to be a peace offering. However, you won't get the Jimmy stuff until you get a phone call from me saying, hey, Will, packing up the call, on the way, packing up the call to be on the road soon, so that we can drive down to visit Bev and drive through McMinnville to drop off stuff to you. Last of the stuff that I have for you is the Jimmy Ott and clothing. That's about it. Unless you want some stable soil. Which is basically the remains of our dearly departed friend Jim Stubble Jr. Anyway, talk to you later. Mentioning you know what does not mean I want you know what to happen anytime soon, or that I'm jumping to the wrong conclusions. It's just a subtle reminder to you. That's it. Ta-ta for now.